Hey guys, listen, did you know that there's more than 528 million entrepreneurs in the world? And more than 5.3 million of those entrepreneurs are actually in the US, according to a recent study from overload.com. Now, with that being said, more than half of those entrepreneurs are actually minorities and 63% are actually turning a profit. But there is an alarming study that I want to share with you. More than 50% of those businesses that entrepreneurs start end up failing after 5 years. So I want to go ahead and share with you guys, right, 6 things that I've been able to go ahead and do now being an entrepreneur for more than 5 years that has allowed me to go ahead and be consistent and also become a millionaire. Check them out. All right, guys, number 1 is going to be identifying your why. You need to have something that literally keeps you up at night, that keeps you going, that keeps you away from the comfortability scale and just being stagnant and not wanting to do better for yourself. For example, my why was basically what hurts you. And at that point in time, there was an epiphany in my life where I wanted to do better. I was tired of feeling less as a man, coming home to my mom and grandmother, not being able to go ahead and help them out with the groceries or maybe just a light bill. I wanted to go ahead and do something more, not only for myself, but also for the generations that were to come. I wanted to make sure that I left a legacy behind and that when somebody read my book after I was gone, they could go ahead and say it was a good read. But in all reality, guys, this is what stops a lot of people because they don't have that trigger that allows them to keep fighting when there's a lot of rainy days. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, especially a successful entrepreneur, you have to make sure that you have your why everywhere. I suggest having your why on your computer screen, maybe on the refrigerator, even on your phone, allowing you to go ahead and remind yourself why you're doing this and why you need to go ahead and keep going. Number 2 is going to be time is of the essence. I want you to go ahead and write down right now, why is this important to you? Because a lot of the times we don't end up planning out what we want to go ahead and do, and that's literally 50% is getting started, right? So time is of the essence and you want to make sure that you get started right now. And now typically means no opportunity wasted. They say that the most expensive thing in life is literally a passed up opportunity. And a lot of the times if you wait, it usually costs more. You never hear people saying something like, hey, I wish I would have waited. Most of the time it's, hey, I wish I would have started sooner. So you have to make sure that you're starting right now and you're taking action, but make sure you also have an action plan. Because one day you're gonna literally have more past and future. You're either gonna look back and say, wow, I've lived a life of regret or a life of fulfillment. All right, guys, my name is Brandon Narain and I'm a serial entrepreneur. Welcome to my channel where I literally teach you almost everything about real estate, business, and mindset. Now, if you're liking the channel, please go ahead and do me a favor. Make sure that you like, make sure you comment, and make sure that you subscribe. Now, statistics show that a lot of you guys are enjoying the content, but you're not subscribing. So all I ask is to make sure that you hit that button, make sure you get tapped in and that you get notified every single time that I drop a new video. All right, guys, number 3 is going to be right information. And don't get me wrong, this isn't shunning anybody that goes to college or obviously is in the school system. But for me personally, school wasn't really always the best thing. Now going to school, especially going to college, I started to understand that school actually breeds employees. And this is just my opinion, but I feel like they obviously give you the discipline to make sure that you show up, that you meet a quota, and obviously you get good grades to achieve a great GPA. Now, what does this do? It allows people in the workplace to make sure that you are ready for their job, for their position. Right now, you know that you are responsible, that you're obviously going to do either the bare minimum or exceed, and you're always going to be reliable. So with that being said, one of the biggest things that school actually should have taught us is really how to go ahead and copy from the correct people, how to be a copycat. As long as you copy the right cat, you'll always have some great success. I mean, take a look at Warren Buffett. Imagine if you were able to go ahead and sit or shadow with Warren Buffett, or maybe somebody like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. Would you be able to go ahead and learn a lot about business and how to treat, your financials and how to move forward? 100%. So guys, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Look for the right information and spend the right time learning that education and that information so you can use it as a high income producing asset. All right, guys, number 4 is going to be sacrifice. Let's go ahead and start off with relationships. Really quickly, I want to go ahead and have you audit your circle. Maybe your last 5 people that you talked to in the last week or maybe month or maybe even on a daily basis. Whatever the case may be, I want you to go ahead and put either deposit or withdraw by their name. And I'm not talking about financially, but I'm more so talking about energy, mindset, spiritually, moving in a positive direction. Are these people helping you or are they hurting you? Because a lot of the times you may not know it, but if you're the smartest person in that room, you shouldn't really be in that room. So you need to go ahead and make sure that you're making sacrifices when it comes down to relationships. But not only that, what you do with your time. You can't always go everywhere. You can't always go out to the club or to a party or maybe a fancy dinner. You want to go ahead and spend your time obviously learning your craft and focusing on exactly what it is that you're trying to accomplish. There's going to be a lot of late nights, early mornings, and a lot of rainy days. But it's okay because God gave you the vision, and just because he gave it to you, that doesn't mean everybody can see it. It will definitely pay off in the future. All right, guys, just want to go ahead and take this moment to give our sponsor for today's video a shout out. With that being said, we've been able to go ahead and partner with Batch Leads, getting you a free 7-day trial and also 1,000 leads, either when it comes to cash buyers or potential motivated homeowners. So if you're an aspiring real estate investor and you're looking to go ahead and get started, please make sure to get the all-in-one software right now by going to bluestext.com or checking the link in the description. Now back to today's video. All right, guys, number 5 is going to be delayed gratification. Now, what does this actually mean? Many times you're walking through a mall and you see something like a buy one, get one, or maybe a 70% off. In all reality, your emotions start to trigger, your endorphins start to go, and you tell yourself that you really need those pair of shoes or maybe that shirt. But in all reality, did you really need it? Was that gonna go ahead and actually produce some more money for you? So I want you to go ahead and look at everything as an investment and not as an expense when it comes down to reinvesting or doubling down in your business. I want you to go ahead and delay as much gratification, the things that don't actually produce any type of income. What do I actually mean? Don't buy the designer, don't buy the watches, the jewelry, or maybe the fancy cars until you hit an actual goal. Now, for me, it was literally having $500,000 in my bank account. At that point in time, I promised myself I would go ahead and maybe start to purchase some things if I still had the same type of mindset or feeling about those things. So I'm not saying to not do it. All I am saying is to make sure that you go ahead and make those sacrifices, delay gratification as much as possible so that you can keep having capital to reinvest into your future. I also go ahead and recommend you taking your money and investing into more online education or in-person education. I definitely recommend masterminding and mentorships and just always consistently learning new things. I like to go ahead and delay gratification as much as possible, but also enjoy life at the same time. So that's going to be number 5. All right, guys, and number 6 is going to be consistent. You want to make sure that you are consistent. That is literally one of the major ingredients to being a successful entrepreneur. I promise you that there's probably not one person in this world that has literally been successful that hasn't been consistent. So let me go ahead and share with you a couple of things that I do to make sure that I am consistent on a daily basis. Number 1 is I make sure that I plan out my day. What I typically do is I work in 2 tiers or 2, I guess you can say, occasions, and I do what's called focus sprints. So I'll go ahead and go on my iPhone notes and I'll write down what I need to actually do for the next day. I go into maybe my studio or maybe my office and I start to go ahead and work. Now, once I go ahead and do that, I put my phone on do not disturb. I put a timer for 90 minutes and I either have to go ahead and get all the work done before the timer is up, or obviously when the timer is up, I do get up. Now, at that point in time, I go ahead and get a snack, or maybe I eat lunch, whatever the case may be. I ease my mind for somewhere around 15 to 20 minutes. After that, I go to another location in my home, and then I start to do my second tier of work or focus sprint. So this has allowed me to go ahead and stay very consistent with what I'm doing. And what has this done, right? Number 1 is I'm planning my day ahead. Number 2 is I'm putting myself in an environment where I'm focused. And number 3, I'm literally disciplining myself to either do one of the 2, get all the tasks done before the timer's up, or then I'm giving myself a mental break when the timer is done to go ahead and still be able to keep going. So I definitely recommend that you're consistent, guys, because without consistency, it's going to be very hard. As you guys always heard, right? Hard work always beats talent when talent isn't working. So I want to make sure, guys, that you stay consistent with everything that you do, and I promise that you'll be a 7-figure entrepreneur. All right, guys, so those are my 6 tips or attributes to going ahead and being a successful 7-figure entrepreneur. Now, I do want to go ahead and let you know that this is just my opinion, and this is just what has worked for me. It doesn't mean it's going to work for you, and maybe as you go along through your entrepreneurship journey, you'll have other benefits and other things that you have learned that you can go ahead and help other people. Now, I want to go ahead and give you one more tip of advice. Make sure, guys, that whatever it is that you are doing, that it's high producing, which means that you can make a lot of money in a short amount of time. And number 2, do not let anybody come in the way of you wanting to conquer your dreams and your goals. A lot of the times it's kind of like looking through a pair of goggles, and you keep showing somebody, hey, do you see that? Do you see that over there? And they just can't see it, right? Because God gave you that vision, and unfortunately, as of right now, only you can see that vision. But success rings bells, and once you do become successful, other people will be able to go ahead and see exactly what you were looking at 10 years ago, 5 years ago. Now I can say, wow, I remember when he told me or she told me about this business opportunity or this endeavor. In all reality, I just couldn't see it. So just make sure that you do not quit on yourself. Understand that now is the best time to start, and no opportunity wasted, because that is the most expensive thing in life. Every time you wait, it costs more. Catch you guys on the next one.